Help me hit 2,000 subscribers. That was the first line my wife, Emma, read from the Thanksgiving vlog I'd spent weeks preparing. She laughed at it earlier that morning, light, teasing, affectionate. But now, hours later, that same line echoed in my skull like a cruel joke, because nothing about this night felt light anymore. She set down her fork, eyes shimmering with a strange glassy tension. The turkey between us steamed softly, untouched. Outside, the wind pressed against the windows like someone begging to be let in. Then she said it. I was intimate with someone at work today. The sentence didn't land, it detonated. For a moment I couldn't breathe. The room seemed to tilt, as if gravity no longer trusted me to stay upright. My chest tightened, not with pain but with an expanding emptiness, as if my ribs had hollowed out. I heard the faint whistle of the kettle in the kitchen, the distant hum of the refrigerator, the slow ticking of the wall clock. All of it felt painfully loud. Say that again, I whispered, though every cell in my body prayed she wouldn't. Emma swallowed hard. I messed up. Today. At the office. Her voice cracked. I don't know why. No, I interrupted. Not why. What? Silence expanded between us, thick as smoke. She looked at her hands trembling in her lap. We kissed. Then it escalated. I closed my eyes and for half a second I wasn't in my dining room anymore. I was in the car this morning watching her smile at her phone. I had asked jokingly, "Who's got you grinning like that?" She'd shrugged it off. I'd believed her. Because trusting her was the easiest thing I had ever done. Now trust felt like broken glass in my throat. My mind spiraled backward, stitching together quiet red flags I'd ignored. The late meetings, the sudden gym membership, the new perfume she said was just something on sale. The way she turned her phone face down whenever she texted. They weren't big enough to accuse her. Just small enough to ignore. Denial was a warm blanket then. Now it choked me. Who? I asked, though part of me already feared I knew. She hesitated. That hesitation burned more than the truth ever could. Evan, she whispered. Of course. The coworker she'd mentioned casually in stories, the one she said was married with kids, the one she described as funny in a dorky way. I remembered shaking his hand at her company barbecue, thinking he seemed harmless. Harmlessness apparently was great camouflage. Anger surged, hot and dizzying. What were you thinking, Emma? On Thanksgiving. On today of all days. She winced. I wasn't thinking. That's the problem. I felt seen. I don't know. Work's been stressful. You've been so focused on building your channel lately. So this is my fault? I snapped. No, I'm not saying that, she said quickly, tears spilling now. I made a terrible decision, and I hate myself for it. I didn't know what hurt more, her betrayal, or the part of me that still wanted to comfort her. A tense, suffocating quiet settled over the table. I stared at the Thanksgiving spread I'd spent the afternoon preparing. Rosemary turkey, smashed potatoes, homemade cranberry sauce. Everything seasoned with care. Everything now tainted by a single confession. Did you love it? The question escaped me before I could stop it. Her face collapsed. No. God, no. It wasn't like that. It wasn't planned. It wasn't intimate. It was stupid. Fast. Wrong. Wrong, I repeated softly. That's what you call it. She reached across the table, but I jerked back. Don't, I whispered. My hands were shaking. I didn't know if it was rage or heartbreak or both colliding like tectonic plates. My thoughts became a vicious carousel. How long? Does he know about me? Does he know she said she loved me this morning? Was I enough? Was I too much? Was I blind? Or just hopeful? Tell me everything, I demanded. She did. Haltingly, tearfully, with guilt twisting every sentence. She talked about pressure, loneliness at work, a moment of weakness. How he leaned in. How she didn't push him away. How she hated herself afterward. I listened, each word slicing deeper. When she finished, I leaned back, staring at the cooling turkey. So what now? I'll quit my job, she said immediately. I'll block him. I'll do anything. Please. I don't want to lose you. I believed she meant it. That was the worst part. She wasn't a monster. She was human. Flawed. Weak in a moment when she should have been strong. The complexity of that truth made forgiveness harder, not easier. I need time, I said finally. Her shoulders sagged with both relief and dread. Take whatever you need. I stood, but my legs felt rubbery. Approaching the kitchen window, I stared out at the early winter dusk. Streetlights flickered on, casting long, lonely shadows across the pavement. Behind me, I heard her breathing. Unsteady, apologetic, terrified. I almost turned around. Almost held her. Almost pretended the world hadn't shifted beneath my feet. But almost isn't love, and it certainly isn't trust. When I finally faced her, she looked like she was bracing for execution. Instead, I spoke quietly. Tomorrow, I said, you're going to send me every message between you and him. Every call log. Every detail you've been hiding. She nodded instantly. Yes, of course. Anything. And after that, I continued, voice hardening, we're going to decide if there's something left to save. Her face crumpled. I hope there is. I didn't respond, 'cause I didn't know. All I knew was that tonight, on Thanksgiving of all days, the woman I loved had carved open our marriage deeper than any knife could cut a turkey. As I headed for the bedroom, she called after me, voice small. Can you stay? Just in the apartment? I don't want to be alone tonight. I paused. She didn't deserve comfort. But people aren't puzzles. They're storms. And some storms you walk away from. Others you weather. I'm staying, I said quietly. But not with you. Not yet. Relief and sorrow collided in her eyes. I closed the door between us. But her confession hung in the air, thick and suffocating, reminding me that some doors, once closed, never open the same way again.